I'm such a sexy boy. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it is time for another edition of Great Albums, where I go over a series of records from the past month or so that blew me away, impressed me, thought they were noteworthy, so I assemble them into this video so you do not miss out on them, you do not let them slip through the cracks, please. Okay? All right, let's go. Let's start a listing. One, want to give a shout out to the latest Marquis Hill record, Modern Flows Volume 2. I know this is not a 2019 album, came out very late last year, and eventually caught up to it early this year. It is a great fusion of jazz and hip hop and funk and soul. Just a quality record all around, few tracks here and there that are maybe a little underwhelming, but a fantastic contribution to the modern jazz feel. Do not miss out on this record. It is passionate, it is classy, it is colorful, it is well performed. Some of the performances have quite a bit of bite, but generally it is a very subtle, gorgeous little jazz album. Also want to give a shout out to the latest records from James Blake and Sharon Van Etten. While these two albums did not end up on my loved list, I do think these are two of the best records from these artists so far. James Blake coming through with some forward-thinking production, a few risks that didn't pan out, but mostly very beautiful ballads, one track after the next. And very much the same situation for Sharon Van Etten. She took a lot of risks on this new LP, which mostly panned out. Worked in a lot more synths and some grander, more layered production this time around. Not every tune on this thing wowed me, but if you're looking for a quality singer-songwriter record in the first leg of this year, do not miss out on this record. Next, the new collaborative LP from Aesop Rock and Tobacco of Black Moth Super Rainbow fame under the name Malibu Ken. While they don't really change up all that much in their respective styles to converge onto this new album, Aesop Rock's usual style, his lyrical style, his flow is very much unchanged. Tobacco's typically funky and hip-hop and fuzzy and trippy production style is pretty much unchanged. This album, I guess, is a show of how well these two work together, just I guess in their own natural states. The production is grimy and surreal and colorful and certainly lends a lot of character to Aesop's very grimy and personal and wordy verses. A super weird, left field, abstract hip-hop album with a lot of personality. It's a little brief and I wouldn't call it ambitious or anything like that, but it's still a very quality album. Next, a shout out to the new Ariana Grande album, Thank You Next, essentially my pop record of the year so far this year. Definitely a more personal and a more aesthetically consistent effort than her last full-length album. Definitely seemed a lot less formulaic and focus grouped, even though there are some really trendy and amazing bangers on this thing. The way this record's been dominating the charts as well, I think is incredibly indicative of its quality. And Ariana Grande comes through with some really compelling lyrics and songs on this thing, getting to the heart of some very vulnerable and introspective themes, while also penning songs that are meant to appeal to a pop audience. I just love it. It's very fun, it's very catchy, but also incredibly sad too. Next is easily my favorite album of the year so far, the most harrowing and cutting edge and wild listening experience that I have had in 2019 at this point, and that is the new Xiu Xiu record, Girl with Basket of Fruit. The sea of chaotic percussion on this thing is not only new, exciting ground for Xiu Xiu, but in the grander scheme of experimental music, absolutely exciting and mind-blowing. Meanwhile, on top of this, Jamie Stewart lays down some of the most exciting, thrilling, and strange vocal performances within the entire Xiu Xiu discography, and Jamie is not exactly a performer known for playing it safe. This album is so bold and out there, I actually have a hard time maybe recommending it very hard because I think this thing is going to turn off a lot of people. This album is very much not going to be for everybody. This is the kind of record that is definitely going to turn some listeners away right within like the first 30 seconds. But Xiu Xiu is most likely already very conscious of this if you are into totally left field and challenging experimental music that is absolutely harrowing if you're a big fan of things like Captain Beefheart or even the pop group. This will absolutely be right up your alley. And also shout out to Jamie and company for coming together with the amazing roster of guest vocalists and musicians on this record too, who add a lot of character and flavor to this LP and make it something truly special. And finally, in my recommendations list here, I want to give a big shout out to a great compilation that just dropped through Light in the Attic Records Kankyō Ongaku, Japanese ambient, environmental, and new age music 1980 to 1990. This is a blissful, amazing, colorful, bold, and inspiring set of tracks from across the ambient spectrum. The atmospheres on this thing are pristine, and I love the range of flavors showcased on this compilation. Tracks that are droney, tracks that are incredibly spacious and minimal, tracks that are more dense, tracks that have a more contemporary and synthetic sound, other cuts that take on elements of Japanese traditional music. But whatever the flavor or the angle of a particular composition or the artist creating it, it all fits very snugly into this very wonderful and ambient box. Not only is it great to be handed an ambient compilation where all the tracks are so quality and each has their own bold and distinct personality, but I'm also amazed at how well this collection of tracks highlights and amplifies this wing of ambient music, this era, this niche of ambient music, its history, that often goes overlooked. And I am going to leave it at that. Hopefully you guys got some good recommendations out of this video, reviews and links and all that stuff down in the D-box. Transition, have you given these albums a listen? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano. Music recommendations, great albums, forever.